So a couple glaring problems when guys come out to the range, and the first thing that they do is they tend to not carry their or tend to train with their defensive pistol, right? So the gun that they actually carry, this is not the one they like to shoot with because it's just too small of a gun and it's not as much fun to come out to the range with. They like to have a bigger pistol, right? Something on their side that they can actually draw with and shoot. The other issue that we end up seeing is that we end up seeing a lot of guys that they simply just don't get out and train, and they think they know because they grew up around guns, right? We've heard that all a million times, or they took a class from whatever instructor, and so now all of a sudden they're experts on this because they took one weekend long class and they grew up around firearms. And the simple fact is when you do that, you don't know what you don't know, and so you're uneducated, but it's called blindness. You're so stupid on the subject you don't even know how stupid you are. Now here's the reality. What we need to be doing is we should be getting out once a month and doing some quality training. We should be doing one professional class every year, right? I do at least one a year. I do actually generally more than that, but I make my living doing this. So but getting out to the range once a month is a kind of an absolute minimum. If you can go once a week, great. Once a month is something that most people that want to conceal and carry can set their sights on and actually achieve. Simple fact is most people don't have a range on their property like we do and can walk down here and shoot as many times a week as they want. And so unless you're doing some competitions, which I think are great, by the way, I think that competitions are a great way to continue honing your skills as long as you recognize them for what they are. But the simple fact is that getting out doing some training is certainly what you want to be looking at. Okay, let's jump over here. Let's work through a 50-round drill. Now I've got the mic on. Hopefully it should reach, so hopefully we get some good audio, but we're going to go through a 50-round drill. I want you guys to be kind of far enough back that you can see what we're doing. So let's jump into this. Now, first thing that we're going to do on this 50-round drill is I've got my gun. This is my conceal and carry gun, my Shadow System CR920. And what I'm going to do is I am simply going to get started with a quick set of controlled pairs. Now, notice I'm not saying double taps. I'm talking about controlled pairs. So extend out 2 shots, 2 well-aimed shots, and I'm drawing from my holster. Now, we don't get a warm-up because in real life, we don't get a warm-up. When competition, we don't get a warm-up. So we do not get a warm-up when we come out here to actually work on our practice. So I'm going to take 2 shots, center mass, and I'm going to run through about 10 rounds doing that. My gun has 10 rounds in there right now, so I'm going to shoot 10, and then I'm going to get a new one loaded in there and shoot 2 more right after that. So that way I'm actually working on that magazine change as well. So let's jump into this, okay? All right, very simple drill. You can see that what we ended up doing is we started kind of moving a little bit with it, so you can add that in as you get used to it, making sure you're taking those steps. So that way you're making that kind of subconscious muscle memory to take a step when we draw our gun. And what that's doing then is that's forcing us to kind of get off the X, right? You can see then on the 3rd, 4th iteration, we started kind of looking around, making sure that we're scanning for more targets. Now, what I always tell people to do is in that scanning, what ends up happening is they do this, they do their shots, they bring their gun back in, they go like this, right? They look real cool. The problem is that they're not actually scanning, they're just moving their head. My goal is I want you to find a rabbit, okay? So that's what you're looking for. Scan around, see if you can find a rabbit, okay? And it actually forces you to then scan, instead of just going through the motions of moving your head, I want you to actually try to look for something. So if you're not in an area that has rabbits, look for rattlesnakes, I don't care. Look for a beetle, I don't care. Look for something. So you're scanning, you're looking for something, okay, there it is, there's the rabbit or whatever, all right? And I can draw it, and you obviously don't shoot the rabbit unless it's hunting season, you want to, but okay. So now, next one. All we're gonna do, we're gonna take that same magazine, okay, that our spare magazine. I'm gonna put this back in my holster, so I've got a pocket holster on, magnetic Neo-Mag pocket holster. Now I've got 1 round in my chamber, okay, and an empty magazine. All right, so what's gonna happen, I'm gonna fire the gun and get that in there so I don't blow my appendix off. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to then, I'm gonna draw my gun, I'm gonna fire that 1 round, and it's going to obviously go to slide lock, presumably go to slide lock. I'm going to drop that magazine, draw this one, and get this in there as quickly as I can. Now, realize the reason that I want you to train with these is because this is a lot harder. For one, you're drawing from a pocket, so you tend to grab it like this instead of actually holding it like this, right? Because this, I can't grab it from a pocket holster like that, a magazine this small. So I grab it like this, so it's a little bit different. So we fumble them a little bit more when we're loading them. So, but this is how we carry. So it's an important thing for us to make sure that we're actually practicing and figuring out how to do our mag changes with our carry gear. All right, if you carry in your pocket, that's the rule. You have to do it from in your pocket, which means you have to reach in there and dig around for it until you find it. All right, let's go see what this looks like. All right, we'll go ahead, put our empty magazine back in there, reset our full magazine or our partially full magazine onto our pocket holster, reload, and I'm ready to go, okay? So again, same sort of thing. As I draw, I'm taking side steps, getting myself out of the way. Simple goal is I'm keeping my butt moving while I'm doing that, right? So I'm trying to keep kind of stay off that X, right? I don't want to create a target. Now, does that mean that I'm going the old kind of Rob Pinkish thing, right? Going back and forth like this? Not necessarily, because then we're kind of building this stupid habit. Really what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to say, okay, I'm getting here behind cover, right? I'm taking that step. I took my step to the nearest cover, the nearest concealment, the nearest thing that I possibly can. Because the last thing I want to necessarily be doing is trying to go like this during a gunfight while somebody's shooting at me. And I'm so focused on actually doing my slide to the left, slide to the right thing, we need the song playing, that I'm not actually focusing on my shooting. So really what I'm simulating is I'm trying to get behind that kind of simulated cover. What would be better here is if I had like an actual set of barrels there. So if you have that at your range, unfortunately my camera's on the barrel right now, but if you have that at the range, set a barrel there so you have something to get out of the way on. So I'm behind the barrel, draw my gun, shoot one in it. Okay, now this you'll see is why I'm not moving during the reload stage, right? I mean, I can move during the reload stage. Again, I can try to keep my body in motion, try to get out of the way, but that's not a reality, because the reality of it is that if I'm reloading or I'm scared and somebody's shooting at me, I'm not gonna be going like this. I'm gonna be diving for cover and getting the hell out of the way so I can get something between me and that bad guy. So that's why I say the simulation of moving is really moving behind cover. We should be looking to move behind cover or concealment if no cover is available, not just trying to move for the sake of moving. All right, so let's change this up a little bit. Now we've gone through about half of the rounds. Remember, this was like a 50-round training drill, right? 50-round day, because we're not made of unlimited money and ammo's expensive. And so instead of turning money into noise, let's turn some money into some actual quality skills and some training. Okay, so what did we work on this? We worked actually drawing and engaging a target. We worked getting ourselves behind cover. We worked actually scanning for additional threats. We worked magazine changes and reloads, and both tactical, because every time we picked that magazine up, we should have been doing a tactical reload, right? And so we've worked both tactical and emergency level reloads. Now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to actually step back and we're going to work on accuracy and fundamentals. And so I want you to take a step back. Now this is a lot harder to do with small frame pistols. If you have a larger pistol like a Glock 17, something like that, it's a little bit easier to do. But if you're shooting smaller pistols, I want you to take a step back 20, 50, 30 yards, something along those lines, and actually work on doing some headshots and see how you do under pressure with some, run the timers. My timer's battery's dead, otherwise I'd be out here with the timer. But I want you to see how you do actually running running headshots. And so we're talking about, we're doing a hostage rescue, we're working accuracy fundamentals, whatever situation you want to come into your mind to do this with, this is the scenario that we're running, okay? Let's step back here and try this. Okay, so I can't get back as far as I'd like to get because I'm going to be off the camera, but let's, what is this? Probably about 15 yards maybe? Okay, so take one shot, so I'm going to draw out and good fundamentals. All right, cool, right between the eyes. Okay, cool, so let's speed that up a little bit. Let's make that a little bit faster, okay? Okay, let's wrap this up now. I'm gonna do one final drill, right? We've got, about 11 rounds left or so? Okay, so we're gonna do one final drill. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna be at a kind of this Swiss index, right, or Swedish position, whatever. There's a bunch of different names for it. Swiss index is what I always heard it as, but right here, right, or Sweeney grip, right, that's another common one. So right here, okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a moving situation. So I'm gonna go, if I'm not used to shooting and moving, then my position is from right here, okay? I'm gonna come here, extend out, shoot, okay? Then take a step back, extend out, shoot, okay? Step to the side, extend out, shoot, and then a step forward, extend out, shoot, okay? That's if I'm not used to shooting on the move. If I'm used to shooting on the move, I'm gonna draw and move, okay? One side or the other, however you decide to do it. If you decide to turn your feet, okay, so as a general rule, I don't do side steps. As a general rule, I'll turn my feet and actually walk, okay? So, and you're doing the same thing, so coming back, shooting, 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 and shooting, shooting. Okay, so let's do that. Let's work on some moving and shooting fundamentals. All right, I got just a couple rounds left, so let's do one more. All right, and we're out. Okay, guys, it's a 50-round drill. It'll work some baseline fundamentals. You can see it takes about 20 minutes to do. Do this once a month. You will improve your skills. You will get a lot better. Sorry, I'll stop yelling into the camera. You will get a lot better. This is a very good fundamental level drill set to do, okay? If you did nothing but these, you would get yourself ready for defensive engagements. Now, that doesn't mean that these are the only ones that you should do, but it's a great way to start yourself out, get your training once a month, one professional lesson every year, one training job a month, okay? Guys, I really appreciate y'all watching. Make sure and like and subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna get inside, it is hot. Love y'all, we'll talk to you guys later.